I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
On me in 3, 2, 1. 2 L's, 1 pod. We are the spinoff of the web series, The Two Dicks. We're on YouTube. Check us out. I'm Al Romas. I'm on the oasis of the seas, on our way to Port Canaveral, Florida, the beautiful, exotic port of Canaveral, Florida. We left Bayonne yesterday, and that is Al Ducharme. He is on the, I don't know what ship are you on? I know that cabin. It looks like every cabin I've ever been in. So
it looks like your cabin.
It does. I got a different painting.
Yeah, that's the same bed. Look at the lights in the bed by the side. Same.
Yeah, it's the
I'm
same
on
cabin.
I'm on the allure of the seas, and I'm at sea as well. So right now the Wi-Fi is working out okay, but it can get a little wonky, and we may sound like a robot here and there. But I will try to clean up as much as I can.
Well,
in post.
You think about 5,000 plus on your ship, most of them using Wi-Fi. 5,000 plus on my ship, most of them using Wi-Fi. And to even get this as far as we've gotten it is actually amazing when you think about it.
I'm going to correct you and say we have 6,400 passengers, and then we have another 2 or 2,100 crew. So I think we actually are closer to 9,000.
Yeah, well, this would be the same then here. I was off on my numbers. I'll be there.
18,000 people using the same bandwidth. So be patient, people.
I'm doing that ship. Check out this schedule, Sonny Jim. I go home Friday. So next Friday, this coming Friday, I go home. I'm home for 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go back to Bayonne, Oasis, 2 weeks, right to the Allure for another week.
You're doing the President's Cruise. You're coming on here, and they're going to have the suits and all the bookers, and you're beloved by the brass. So they pick their favorites.
Until that week, then I'm out.
They've invited me actually to be on that cruise, but I would be working in the kitchen. So,
well, take it. We could get some filming done. We could do some 2 digs, a podcast. I'll come in the kitchen. I'll dry a plate. It'll be fun.
Let me send an email. Let me send an email.
Yeah, send an email, man. But I want to go. Would you go home? Well, let me ask you a question. You got the 2 weeks in Bayonne. Okay, that ends on a Friday. Allure starts Sunday.
Out of Galveston.
Are you going out of Galveston? Would you go, if you're me, you get off the ship Friday, would you go home for the day, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, to the airport Saturday morning, fly to Galveston? Or would you just say, hey, let me go Bayonne to Galveston and then be there? Are you taking that 12 hours at home, even though the next morning's a new airport day? You
knew this was not going to be a simple answer, especially with Jabberjaw Al.
Yeah.
It all would depend on number one, how horny I am and how horny my gal is. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
So you're going straight to Galveston.
Galveston,
gotcha.
Oh Galveston,
Galveston, oh Galveston, I still hear your sea winds blowing.
That wasn't that wordy. That was pretty good. It was succinct.
Well, there's multiple answers though. Here's the thing.
Orgasms.
If I'm trying to maintain my status on a particular airline and I'm figuring, well, I can really rack it up. Maybe it'll give me 2, 3, even up to 4 times miles and status points. Then I may do that. I have to talk to my significant other and find out what they think. A lot of times my wife is like, don't do that to your body. Go direct and spend 2 nights in a hotel in Galveston. But I would not.
I think she says, don't do that to my body. You go straight to Galveston.
Yeah, because of that Sinatra cock you have.
Thank you very much.
Call back waiting, baby.
Call back waiting is not bad. I like that. That's pretty good.
But I don't think people know what call back waiting is, or wait, call
Call
waiting.
waiting.
Yeah, they don't even know what that is anymore, right?
I think the listeners to this podcast know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think our listeners are dipping into, they know. They remember.
They're
Yeah.
40 and up.
Yeah.
They know.
And, yeah, they are.
50 and up, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably go home. I think I'm going to go home that Friday, and
Take your
then
girl out
Saturday.
take your girl out to dinner, wine her in a
Yeah.
diner.
Yeah, I
You
will.
know? You know?
Yeah, and
slap,
then
slap your uglies together. Come on, let's be honest.
you old romantic. All right.
Kelly's listening to this one.
Al said we should slap our uglies. What do you think? And yeah, she's listening. She's I bet, if you think about it, because she gets up at 5:45 and goes to work, and she's listening to the podcast at so she might be our first listener when you think of it, unless we have somebody on the West Coast at midnight or something. But but I believe she might be the because I'll wake up sometimes like 7:30 and then she'll be like, "Hey, I enjoyed the pod, was good." I'm like, Jesus Christ, already? You're done? Which I say she says to me. That'd be the joke, I guess.
I know. Unfortunately, it sounded a little bit like a robot on the punchline. So.
Son of a bitch. Hey, are you sick to death yet of the submarine? The submersible. Not a submarine by any means. Are you sick to death of the story, the jokes, the caring? Are you had enough?
I've been getting a lot of private DM jokes, but I've also been witnessing several jokes on all these social media platforms. So it's a done
people
deal.
should not be making jokes.
I know.
There's nothing funny.
Well, there's jokes, and then there's people that get
that.
there's people that are sensitive to it, and then there's people that are angry at the billionaires for being and first of all,
right.
None of those people were billionaires on that thing. They were scientists, and if it costs $250,000 or $200,000,
well, the guy from Pakistan. Wasn't the guy from Pakistan with his son? They were billionaires.
Oh, they were. Then I don't have the correct information. I thought that if you were a scientist, it would be like a fund and people like a grant and people.
This was a private.
Oh, so
no, this was a private tourist.
He spent $200,000 per head or $250,000 per head.
Yes, this is a tourist.
His 19-year-old
no
son.
Scientist. He didn't want to go, but he went. He was scared. They said his mother said he was petrified.
So,
but he wanted to do it for his dad.
$500,000, and that was it.
To be vaporized.
Oh, I didn't read into that. He didn't want to go. He was scared.
He didn't want to go. No.
Now, was there another son? Was there another son that didn't go?
No.
Was there a joke?
But there was No, there was a guy though. One of the another guy, a billionaire, who went over the plans, looked at the blueprints, the whole thing, and he told the CEO, he goes, "It's unsafe, and you've cut costs everywhere."
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, "No," and they showed his text with him, and then the guy goes, "All right, how about 150?" Like he's knocking prices down. He goes, "All right, how about 150? Come on." And the guy,
is this the guy that was the pilot who imploded, or the guy in the office? Because he had a partner.
No, the pilot, the CEO, Rushton, whatever his name was, or Rush, Doctor. But that thing was made on the cheap. And I was saying this morning to Kelly, isn't there any government oversight anywhere? You can just build a tin can. I can just build a tin can and convince people to go in it, and we'll go down and vaporize.
I think that's okay. Try it. I think you should give it a go.
That's fun. That's not murder. I mean, what are we doing here? You can just
it's international. There's no governing.
Ridiculous.
There's no governing entity covering any of this. That was the issue. They said, "Hey, you're not applying this to the whatever it is, marine blah 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 laws," and he goes, "Well, we don't have to. This is about innovation, and you're stopping innovation with all these regulations." And well, what is it? And then there's rumored, is he going to get these multi-billion-dollar contracts or million-dollar contracts through the oil companies to find places to tap into, or is he really doing it for science and to find out about the earth and pollution? So there's that argument there. Is he doing it for the better of man, or is he doing it just to line his pockets?
He
Or is it
ain't
a little
doing
bit of
anything.
both? He's not doing
He
anything.
ain't doing
Right?
anything.
No, no.
No.
Now, does he have a family, and do they get a big insurance settlement, or did they couldn't find a company to insure that? Too dangerous.
You tell me. I don't know, but they're going to be sued by 4 other families.
Even though
The
they signed
CEO's
all
family.
those documents, you can die. It
Maybe.
said,
Yeah,
Michael,
they did sign those.
Mike Reese,
True.
the showrunner, executive producer of The Simpsons for many years, he went on 4 dives, and one of them was the Titan to the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said, he goes, no, he goes, it said death, you could die 4 times on the first day.
He was on this one, Titan. He was on the one that
I believe, if I have my information correct, during one of his
Wow.
interviews he did.
Wow.
And he said that no, it's every time I was on it, he was getting on. I'm like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be? Oh, oof, oof. But he did it. He's done
No
4
kidding.
dives, deep dive. He said he went on one deeper than this
I
on a
can't
different sub. But maybe it wasn't
Well,
the Titan that he went on. But he did say,
Yeah.
no, it's too dangerous. James
There's
Cameron said
nothing-
no, they shouldn't have gone.
There's nothing to this thing, though. Literally nothing to it. It's
I was
a
looking at it,
porthole
and
that's
I
8
see them
inches.
sitting on the floor. I'm like, are
It's-
there seats,
They
cushions?
cross no seats. No
So
seats.
what do you do? You do.
Oh,
It takes an hour and a half to go down, an hour and a half to go up. That's
Right.
3 hours, and then what do you hover
And then-
for an hour? So it's four.
Yeah,
It's a
it goes
4 hour.
around.
It's a
Yeah,
4
but
hour
the
trip,
part
5
you
hour
get-
trip.
Yes, but everybody only gets a certain amount of time to look through the
You
little
take
porthole.
you take turns, right?
Yeah, and the rest is on a monitor. So you can just stay home and watch YouTube videos. What's the difference?
It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. If
Do
you think about it, it doesn't
do you
make
think
any
they
sense.
they died instantly, or was there like a we got a
No.
breach? Oh my goodness, it's leaking. Da, 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 da. Was there any panic, or was it just? Did the
I think I
pilot
was
know?
reading
Did he get any pressure warnings going? Oh, we're going past. Was it like the Challenger shuttle when they went? Uh-oh. The pilot said,
But they don't have-
"Uh-oh."
Yeah, but this submersive didn't even have any controls and things. They were talking about somebody had been on it was saying the lack of sophistication is overwhelming.
It was like
There's nothing
it was like a
there.
Tesla car. It was just like one thing.
You
and
dropped and go down.
and a Sony remote, a joystick.
$29 remote from Logitech. I mean, it's beyond a joke. It just sounds like it's made up.
Oh, it was Logitech.
whole
It wasn't
thing.
Sony. All right.
Yeah, it was
I was
Logitech.
trying
Their
to get
stock,
Sony. I was trying to
and
get
now
Sony.
there's
This is
Logitech. I
fine.
was reading last night. Their stock is everyone's dumping Logitech now, thinking that's going to be the end of them.
I'm in Cozumel, or I wasn't yesterday, and they have
Quit bragging.
submersibles there. You know, it only goes
Yeah.
down 18 feet or
Yeah,
whatever,
3
but
feet. Yeah.
or less. Do you think? I don't know. I didn't look into it. Do you think they had a bunch of cancellations?
Yes.
I do too.
100%. Of course.
And they cut the price in half. And that thing has glass all around, right?
Yeah.
Those-
Well, at least
those-
I read the fish shirt down there. The fish last night were eating Five Guys.
Oh no!
So that's like not too bad for the fish. But
Wow! Wow! Dude, I could not jump on the
Hey.
bandwagon with that because it kind of
No.
it bummed me out, even though I knew.
right.
Do you know what would have been worse? And they all agree that this was the best case scenario for them to die instantly if it imploded. Was that if it had all these fail safes that it would float to the surface and
Right.
float for 96 hours or less
Right. No, yeah. No.
and run out of oxygen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Did you
even so much, it's not even so much the last couple of minutes, because they say once you run out of oxygen to the brain, you go into euphoria and you feel like you're on a trip and everything is, you know, it's grandeur. It's
Yeah.
you start laughing and then you pass
Say,
out.
we don't know.
But the 95 hours prior to that is like,
Dude, they never had that. Did you see the Navy heard the implosion?
well, now we
like
know.
48
Now we
hours
know.
earlier.
We're getting all the information now.
Which
Unless-
is the job I had in the Navy. That's what I did. I listened to sonar submarines in Norfolk. We had Russian subs like a mile out on the beach. So we would listen and track them. They heard it. They knew exactly what happened. But they still have to look. People are going, oh, it's Biden didn't want it out there because his son is indicted. They wanted to keep him alive and make people think they had a chance. So you think Joe Biden controls all the media, and he's also an incompetent douchebag? Like I was saying earlier, you can't have it both ways. He's either the head of a crime family and controlling the media, or he's an incompetent 81-year-old senile asshole. You can't have both.
You're saying it's the same group saying both, or is it two different groups? And are they conspiracy theorists, or are they
conspiracy theorists
or right wingers?
No, conspiracy theorists immediately came out with the Navy told him they were dead, but they kept it alive so America and the world would have something to look at while Hunter Biden got indicted. And it's like, are you out of your minds? You have to go look. You can't just tell the families how it imploded. What if they were at the bottom, struggling for air, and we all were wrong? You got to try. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So,
what is the total cost of all those countries going in?
I don't know. I don't have the
fuel,
figures
time.
They didn't send me those figures, sir. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one when the data.
It was rhetorical. It was a rhetorical question. When I need an expert answer, I don't go to Al Romas. If I want some levity, I go to Al Romas. I know.
Well, they said they were upset because the plan was they were supposed to be testing this thing on poor people, and we lost 5 billionaires, which is tragic. So next time, hopefully, we'll use the poor.
You have been reading too many memes online, and you've been relaying them to me in private. But I can't jump on the bandwagon publicly with this stuff. But I will have to say, I did snicker at a couple of them. You know, the one that really got me in the beginning was they had a picture of the Titan sub, and it said, "Alexa, could you play Air Supply?" Songs by Air Supply.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was horrible,
and yet hilarious. So
yes,
you know. But anyway, it was, you know, it's an interesting story. I think it's I don't know if it's a tragedy. The only one I feel tragedy for is the 19-year-old.
19-year-old, because everybody else was in their 60s to early 70s.
They made a decision and they wanted to do it.
The 19-year-old was a mistake. There was no reason for that.
That was terrible. And have you seen any of the animations of the thing just folding?
Yes. They showed the animations of the actual Titan, but they also showed train cars on land
I saw
on
that.
a railroad track filled with certain gases and heated or something, and then or pressurized and went instantly, like this big freight train size thing. I'm losing you. Hold on. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. We are now at 1,500 feet. We are now at 1,500 feet below the surface, and I lost Romas. I lost contact with Romas. He's frozen. He sounds like a robot. We either have a bad connection, or he's inserting his thumb in his anal cavity.
Oh no!
Which he often does during the podcast. Where do you see this after I upload it? Because you have no idea what I'm saying right now. He's still talking. You sound like you're blowing a robot. Test 1 2 3. Testicles.
Am I back?
Left, right. One's bigger than the other. Test 1 2. Testes.
I hear you. We're back, and I got my thumb out of my ass.
Oh, you heard that part.
I could hear most of what you were saying.
We're heading. I have the screen on my television screen. It gives you the heading of the ship, the wind direction, and our approximate arrival time.
Remember Norm Macdonald asked his grandmother how come her arm was bruised, and she said, "The wind." You get old, you get fragile, folks.
You do.
Is my point. Yes.
You know what my friend? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Your friend.
No, my friend and your friend, Dan Gerstenlauer. Dan Gerstenlauer posted the other day. He said, "I didn't go for my walk yesterday, and I'm paying for it today because my knee is hurting." This is where we're at this age. If we don't walk, our knees hurt. A lot of people go, "Oh, I hiked yesterday, my knee hurts."
Yeah.
You got good knees?
I have great knees, man. Knock on wood.
Well, all right.
No knee issues at all. I'm thankful that I'm 5'8". I never played basketball after 5th grade. So all the guys I know who played basketball, they're all getting their knees redone or their hip.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I was too short, so I didn't play basketball, and
All
I think it
my-
saved me from
Yeah, all
years
my
of pain.
athletic friends have now getting everything titanium this, titanium that.
Yeah.
Rotor surgery. What is it?
Yeah.
Rotor cuff.
Rotator cuff.
Rotator cuff. Is that what it is?
Cuff. Yeah.
Cuff.
I believe I need that actually because, I mean, seriously, like
The
8 months
masturbation.
ago.
Yeah, the masturbation.
Yeah, it does. Between that and this arm, the right arm, the one, I was leaning over the bed one morning and Teddy was there, and I picked him up just with my arm instead of using 2 arms.
Right.
Just the arm. And when I put him up on the bed, pain shot from my shoulder down my arm, and it's never really gotten better. And it's been 8 months.
Can I give you a
What?
remedy that worked for me? This happened to my.
Cock.
Well, you apparently know the answer. How foolish of me
I
to
took a
think
shot.
that I was going to share some knowledge with you. You've tried it everything. Okay.
I have. I get bored at sea, man. You know what I mean? What's your hack? Tell me the hack.
Well, I was in my 30s. I was doing flies, and of course, I'm trying to keep up with the big muscle heads at the gym. And same thing here. I'm 5'9" and 3/4, and sometimes if I'm on my tippy toes, I hit that 5'10" mark. I was doing flies on the bench, and I had too much weight, and I went too far back, and I heard a noise, and all of a sudden, like my noodle thing, it was like a rip. I tore something, and I had an issue. Same thing, like for 8 months, intermittently, it would get worse, and then all of a sudden, I take a shower or something. Oh, it's fine for a few days, and then it would come back. I went to a pharmacist, and I said, I think I'm going to get this checked out and x-rayed, but is there anything I can do? He said, ice, don't use that arm.
Ice, baby.
And you have to take a leave every 10 to 12 hours for 14 days, no booze.
What?
Yes.
Who is this guy? Who is this quack?
And it fixed it. And it was same thing. It was 8 months of intermittently coming back. And it fixed it because my next step was I'm going to get it x-rayed or whatever, or MRI, whatever the fuck they do, and I'm going to have surgery. And that fixed it. So last-ditch effort, give it a whirl.
All right. All right. I'll take
No
some
booze.
Aleve. No booze.
Aleve, not Advil. Aleve is $2.25. You get the 10
Isn't
to 12
that for
hours.
the ladies? Isn't that for the ladies? Aleve?
Don't exceed
I think it is. I think it's a
the
ladies
12
drug.
hours. Because
Isn't that a ladies drug? It's not like a period drug.
It's for the cramps, like
Midol.
Like, that's not Midol.
Yeah, doctor.
Midol is basically the same ingredients for chicks.
You left and your doctor was giggling. I put him on a leave.
They say with this, all these things, Tylenol, all these things where you go to the shelf and it has Tylenol, back pain, Tylenol, headache, Tylenol. It's all these same ingredients, the same thing, the same amount.
It's all fentanyl.
It's all marketing.
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, I did a show the other night on the ship here. We're doing 13 a week, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, man, I've seen you twice now, and I've subscribed to your podcast, and I'm listening at the pool deck." And I go, "That's great." I go, "We have a Patreon." He goes, "I know, I heard about it." He's very excited. Well, I go, "It's $5." He goes, "You got it. Yes, that's great." And that was whatever he didn't join. You know what I mean? No. $5.
He had a buzz
on a cruise. He's on a cruise. He paid thousands.
He had double occupancy. He probably has a $5,000 bill at the end.
$5, and he's going to lie about that.
Yeah, but he's boozing. He's boozing. You made him laugh in the moment. The next morning, he's going to hang over. And
No,
like,
he didn't booze.
I wouldn't have drank that last drink if that guy didn't make me laugh.
He didn't drink. He was on a leave. His pussy had been bleeding for 2 months. And his doctor told him, if you take a leave and don't drink, you'll be okay. So he wasn't drinking. He wasn't drinking. Anyway, it was fine. It's so dumb, though, to compliment somebody and tell them you enjoy something. And then when you go, "Oh, for $5, you can blah, blah, blah." And they go, "Yeah, I'm doing that." Yeah. Well, man. It is
how many people have commented to you, other comedians mostly, dude, your podcast, wow, you guys are doing great. Da, 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 da. And then I look, I go, they never hit like,
All
they
the
never
time.
comment.
All the time.
But there's
all the
so
time.
much jealousy, animosity, envy in this business that we have chosen. They can't get around to doing it.
Right. And they have you on it all the time, but they'll never hit like on the any post. Never a like, but every time you work with them or whatever, hey, got to get me on there, man.
Yeah.
Got to get me on there. It's like, why would I? You don't have a following, and you don't even help us at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you were a guy from day one hitting like every time or commenting, and
be
then
on.
I'd be like, yeah, no
Let's get
problem.
'em on.
Of course.
Yep.
Sure. But anyway, we do. I just want to tell you, I took an Uber last week from the hotel.
Big spender.
I got that kind of money from Bayonne, the hotel in Newark. I mean, to the port in Bayonne.
Mm-hmm.
So it was $19.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at my Uber a couple days ago just to look at something, and it says my ride was $75. I'm like,
what
the
fee?
fuck? No, there's nothing listed. Just said $75. So then I looked at the page, and it has the picture, and it's $19. So I sent the picture with a little, help on Lyft or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, how does 19 become 75? Like, can you explain this to me? And then they wrote back going, it's been refunded. But it's like, what if I don't look?
Well, I did the same thing the other day. It wasn't $75, but it was an issue, and they didn't even question me. They just said, as soon as I hit send, it will be refunded to your account. And sure enough,
they don't care
instant. Because it's happening too much. So they moved the Uber place in where was it? In Houston. They moved the Uber place to one location to another deep inside of a garage. And there's a woman in front of me. I go, excuse me, my driver is having trouble getting here. And they said, oh yeah, it happens all the time. She goes, I do this every week. I fly every week. She said, the new people have no idea where this is. And they're waiting 150 yards away going, where are you? Where are you? And she said, I just hit cancel and go to Lyft if it happens.
Okay. Is that what you ended up doing? You took Lyft or Uber?
I did. I canceled my Uber. I asked for my refund. They did it instantly. And then the Lyft driver showed up, but he was familiar with it.
Okay. Weren't you going to do a hotel shuttle or something? Didn't you tell me that? Or was that different? You were going to go to the hotel and there was a ride there to the
I
port?
fucked up. And I listened to you privately, private message. I asked you, how do you do this in Houston? And you say, you take an Uber. And I said, are you reimbursed? And you said, no. And then everybody else on the public page said, yeah, just send your receipt in. So is it different for different people, or comedians versus a juggler?
No, but I think a lot of those people you were dealing with was Carnival, and who reimbursed for that, and other lines where we get the money is travel pay.
Right.
And that's included in that. So yeah, they don't get that. So that's why they're saying send it in. But
well, what I ended up doing
I was insulted you even asked more people after coming to me for my counsel.
I understand. But people should preface it with, well, on Carnival, because that's a stigma. Or they say, well, with my cruise people, blah, blah, blah. I just send it to my agent or my manager. But I was getting all these conflicting answers. So what I ended up doing was, I said, well, I got time. Let me be frugal because I bought the internet package.
What? You?
Yeah.
Come on.
Silence, Earthling.
Come on. Usually you make it, you spend it. Frugal. I would never say that. Mere bag of shells, Now we're frozen again.
Well, good. Now I can tell my story.
All right, we're back.
Your internet connection is unstable.
Oh my God! Hey, you know what time it is?
Is it time for
questions?
Batman?
Questions, man. You write them, we answer them. It's on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And this is from the Potential Podcast. I think you were a guest on that pod.
You are absolutely correct. I was a guest on the Potential Podcast. Taylor travels.
Is it a podcast or is it a potential? I don't understand the title.
I think he was going with the title because there were so many podcasts. It's kind of ironic. I think he's going for irony. And
Potential.
Taylor is a former activities manager and cruise director. And he left the field to get involved with the Nielsen's ratings. I think he might be still doing that. And he was most recently married about 2 months ago. So
potentially working for Nielsen and potentially happy with a marriage. You never know.
He's got a lovely gal. A lovely gal.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. He writes, potential podcast would like to know, if you had to do another profession, what would it be? Well, that was in our thought processes last year or so, wasn't it, during COVID? I don't really know the answer to that one. That's the problem I had during COVID. I don't know. I mean, I could get a job, but a profession, I'm not really sure. At this point, probably not much, to be honest. So let's keep this going.
Yeah, I mean, again, profession-wise, that's tough. I would like to think it's related to the entertainment business in some foray, maybe behind the camera, but that would involve paying your dues, and I'm not a 20-year-old paying my dues.
We don't have time to pay no dues, man.
Yeah, so I would probably to be realistic, I would probably go into a property management field because of my knowledge from my family owning tenement homes and various properties. Being a former landlord myself, I would go into that area. And in California, you can get certified as a property manager. You take some online test or whatnot, get some liability insurance, and delegation. Getting my hands dirty, not so much, but delegating, hiring and firing, and seeing things.
I think I would just go the male prostitution route and try to make a few bucks and have a good time during it. And why not? You know what I mean? Work the street, get in my steps, work the corner, back and forth, go to a motel with a guy or girl, whatever they want.
I would have to try it for a week.
Gotta try it.
And see if I like it. If I lick it. Yeah.
If
I don't lick it, then I'm not gonna last.
Oh, I see what you did. You took lick and made it like,
oh good. My goodness, comic genius. Exactly
it's
why I would not pursue stand-up comedy after that.
No. So there you go. That's it. We're just hoping we can stay in this field as much as we can until it's over. Which I heard about.
To be honest with you, I would also go into comedy producing theaters. Yeah. And nonprofits. That's where I would actually.
I've seen the gigs you do on your own, and I don't know if I want to.
You'd rather give it a lick.
I'd rather give it a lick than say. I saw a picture. I don't know where you were. You were outside.
Yes.
It looked like it was cold.
It was chilly. Yeah.
I give you both credit because you work a lot, you guys. Where do you find these gigs, or who find these gigs? Do not even look like they're gigs. And there's you and Bernie telling jokes into a microphone. It's like, what was that one?
That was in Mill Valley, and the city council does this annual show. They put on various performances and whatnot. They had seen me and Bernadette perform at the Throckmorton Theater, which is one of our favorite places to go. Beautiful theater. But also our friend Maureen Langan, who just killed it on America's Got Talent. She had done it, and she threw our name in the hat, and then they came to see us at the Throckmorton, and then approached us after the show and said, "You guys are perfect for this." And we said, "Okay, let's look at the calendar." And we threw some numbers out. Right. They came up with the coin, and my phone is ringing. And what's the rule when your phone rings in your cabin?
What's the rule? You don't answer it. God damn it! What do you mean? What's the rule? That's the rule. You don't answer that thing.
It's the other comedian.
Oh.
He went right to voicemail.
Yeah. It's lunchtime. Maybe he wants to grab a little lunch.
It's 12:45. It's lunchtime. And I just
yeah.
had breakfast with the juggler, Michael Holly, super nice guy.
Oh, it's too
Uh,
much.
ve-
Breakfast with a juggler? That sounds awful.
You know what it is? Every time my dish would go by, I'd grab a piece of toast off because he was just
Yeah.
juggling everything.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, breakfast with a juggler. That sounds like some kind of hell. Like if you were bad,
It
you know what
sounds
I
like a
mean?
bestseller novel to me.
Breakfast. It sounds to me like we're gonna, welcome to hell. We got over here. You have breakfast with a juggler. That's every day for eternity. And then over here, you get fucked in the ass by a 9-foot cock with spikes at the end. I go, I'll take the cock. That's just me, though.
Are you
I'm
trying
just
too
saying.
hard to make a clip for the show? A
I
30-second clip. Are you trying too hard?
I want a cock clip. I think that's where the ratings are, man. I got to find out how this works. Next question. We have another
Question.
Hold on. I'm getting messages now. Hold on.
Oh, great. Very professional. Thanks.
Hold
Messages. Do you want to have lunch with me?
Yeah.
I'm lonely on a ship. I can't be alone for 5 minutes. I better call the other act and let them know that I'm going to eat.
on. There's a lot of
These guys.
people. It's different
These guys are-
personalities. Al he's a loner. I'm in between. I like my
I'm not a loner.
solitude, but then I like to socialize. Al's a
A loner.
loner. He only likes to socialize
I'm not a loner.
with cute petite girls with new hips.
I had lunch with Adam the juggler last week. I had cigars with Joe Yannetti every night. I'm out there, baby. I'm out there.
All right, that's good for
So,
you. That's
But
good
no, but no breakfast. No breakfast. That will never happen. Don't ever call me for a breakfast. Okay, ready? Next question.
We have two. Bing, 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 bing.
Have you ever missed a gig? Have you ever missed a gig?
Yes.
Missed a gig? Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
Once.
I think I would say once, but it's probably more. But I
It's
think
probably
once
two or
only,
three.
Also, I think once that. Yeah, I think one for me. My fault, but not really. Back in the day when you had to print directions,
Mhm.
and my printer stopped at the word port. It was drive to port, and it stopped. And I'd been to Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale many, many, many times.
Sure.
So I drove to Port Everglades, and I pulled up at the gate, and he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm getting on the whatever it was, say the Mariner." And he looked at me and said, "No, that's not here."
Or to Miami.
I go, "Where is it? What do you mean it's not here?" And he goes, "It says Port." And he goes, "I don't know where it is. It's not here. Never been here." So now it's 2:00. I get there a little late. I get there, at the I got to miss the all the people. So I call our agent, and I go, "Hey, I'm at Port Everglades, and the Mariner's not here." And then I hear a little delay, and then I hear her go, "Yeah, it's in Port Canaveral."
Oh, Canaveral! Holy
Port
shit!
Canaveral.
That's too far.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, because I was going to say you could possibly, if you jump in a taxi and go right to Port of Miami, you probably won't make it. But Port Canaveral, forget it. Done. They're sailing.
So I go, "What do I do?" She said, "Yep." Well, she said, "Try." She goes, "You got to try."
Yeah, make an effort.
Go. So I floored it. Did about 80 from Fort Lauderdale to Port Canaveral. Got there. The ship was about half a mile away.
Yeah,
sailing away.
Try.
So I called.
Try rhymes with
tried.
die. Die.
I tried. I might have stopped for a nice lengthy lunch, but I did try. I tried. I tried.
There's a point.
Then,
I've done the white knuckle where I'm like, I'm like, fuck it, and then I drop the speed, pull over, get lunch. I tried.
Well, I called. I said the ship just left, and then they were like, it was like nothing. They go, "All right, go home."
Next
and we'll fly out to Nassau on Monday. I was like, "That's it?" They go, "That's it."
Wow. Slap on
got
the wrist.
Full pay. Got an extra night at home. It was not bad, to be honest. So
wow.
I think that's the only time I missed it. But then when I got on, the cruise director, was welcome aboard. They didn't have an act for that, which would have been me. And was a little bit of a problem for him, but I don't know. It didn't seem a big deal. So I thought, man, I bust my ass every week to get to these things, and they didn't seem like it was a big deal. So, maybe we, can miss a few in the future. That's my advice to you, Al. Miss a few gigs in the future. Yeah.
I've missed a couple. And now that you were mentioning, I said one, but now another one just popped up. Flight delay. The thing about it was a flight delay because of rain. And so the flight was 3 hours late. And I had been calling and leaving messages. And then I get to the club and the guy had surgery. So he's got like a leg half cast on and a cane, and he's on pain pills, but he can't painkillers.
A leave? Is he on a leave?
He was on Midol.
I'm just asking.
Speaking of Midol, he was a fucking cunt because he couldn't take his pain pills for another
We got a
hour.
clip. I just want the clip to go. He was a fucking cunt. 2 L's, 1 pod. You son of a bitch. That would be great.
He was, and he was like, "I'm docking your pay," and he was like, "On my face," and you're gonna perform anyways. I came to the club. I made it to the club. I didn't check into the hotel. The show was already underway. The host was on.
Where was this?
I go, just wave at him. Tell him I'm here. I'm here. He's like, he just wanted to, berate me in front of everybody, the staff. And now the staff is like walking around me. They're like, oh my God.
Where was this?
That was upstate New York. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a total asshole to me. His wife came up afterward and she said, "Oh, his name was Michael something. He goes, he had surgery and he's in a lot of pain. He can't take his medicine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." She goes, "You're going to get your full pay. You're going to get your full pay.
You're getting your $300. Don't worry."
I think it was back then. Dude, I was 22 years old. I was, greener than green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about this recently, or I was talking to Kelly or somebody, but didn't it feel like you had more money then when you were like starting out? I always felt like I had more money than I
had
do.
Pocket full of cash.
Since.
Yeah, I had pocket full of cash. I was doing a lot of colleges, so I was making almost cruise money in like 2 nights.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't have the bills I have now. I didn't have the life insurance, and health insurance was a pittance. I think I had a Blue Cross Best for like $85 a month or something like that.
I had that. Yeah, very similar thing too. It didn't bother you. Had health insurance and it wasn't a big deal. It didn't break your bank or anything, but like now, but I always felt like I had more. I don't know why. I always felt like if I need to go to whatever I want to do, it's like, yeah, I'll just go do that.
Yeah.
Where now it's, but now you're more, obviously more adult.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about contributing to my retirement funds, and I have a stock portfolio. I get to, that's why I'm frugal. I'm like, I gotta make my number by a certain time of year, and to make sure that I get the extra bump down the line, all that stuff. It's a lot more worry. Whereas when you're young and dumb, it's like less worry and more fun.
And doing actual bumps. Now you're worried about a bump in that. Now we were doing actual bumps in the bathroom of the club. It's under the toilet.
I
under the
like
toilet
it.
Paper. Stall number 2.
Chevy Chase. What movie? 5 seconds.
Do it again.
Yes.
I like it.
That sounds like
Beetlejuice. It sounds like that, but I'll tell you right now, Chevy Chase did that line before Jim Carrey and Beetlejuice.
Funny Farm.
It may have been. I don't know the answer. I was hoping you'd say it.
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. Modern Problems is a 1981 American science fiction black comedy film written and directed by Ken Shapiro and starring Chevy Chase, Patty D'Arbanville, and Dabney Coleman.
Well, I'm only saying Funny Farm because I know a lot of the Chevy Chase movies, and I don't recognize that line. And I know that's a movie that I've never seen. So that's how I went with that. I go, it must be from Funny Farm because I've never heard him do that.
Yes, it was Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice. Now I got to look it up and put the clip on. Here it is.
Yes! I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't think that's Chevy Chase.
Wrong.
I don't even recognize. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the line or the thing, so I have no idea.
Trapdoor.
It sounds like Jim Carrey the way you're doing it.
Trapdoor. I just pulled the trapdoor and you disappeared because you didn't get the answer correct.
Oh,
Game show.
okay. Well, tell me next time, and I'll vanish for the Patreon people who actually pay to help us and support us.
Trapdoor. I'm grabbing the lever for the trapdoor. One owl, one pod. I like it.
And we're out.
So long, Mel. Have a good trip.
Iceberg Deadhead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Two Owls, One Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/The2Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.